Welcome to my madness, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be taking a look at my personal top 10 G.I. Joe classified figures of this year, 2024. And what makes for a good G.I. Joe classified figure? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I tried to think of why I chose the figures on the list that I chose, and sometimes it comes down to the sculpt or the paint. Sometimes it just comes down to some kind of retro nostalgia vibe the figure gave me. I don't know. I mean, there's not really any rules other than it has to be a G.I. Joe classified figure and it has to have come out in 2024. Other than that, I don't really know what it is. But that reminds me, why don't you guys let me know in the comment section, what are your favorite figures of the line this year and why? Like, what is it about them? Is it because they were just cool and well articulated, great sculpts? Was it retro vibes? We got a lot of retro cards this year. What was your favorite figures of 2024 and why do you like them? Let me know in the comment section down below. But let's go ahead and just jump right into my personal top 10 G.I. Joe classifieds figures of 2024. Alright, so in at number 10, we have our kind of just classic retro Quick Kick. Now, this wasn't a retro card figure, but he's got that classic 80s look that I remember from being a kid, and it just looks great. It's a quick, simple design, very Bruce Lee-esque. He came with multiple head sculpts, some extra hands, had a chocolate bar in one of them. He's got the swords, he's got the nunchucks. It was just a cool retro vibed figure that just gave me the retro feels. There's not really anything spectacular or phenomenal about the figure other than it looks exactly like Quick Kick. And when it came right down to it, that's what got me with this figure, is it was Quick Kick. And Quick Kick was always a cool, fun, adventurous character back in the old school comic books and on the old series, and I always loved the figure, and this just perfectly evoked those memories, and that's why he's on this list. Okay, at number 9, we have another figure that gave me the retro nostalgic feels, and that of course is the retro carded Scarlet. And this is on here for a lot of the same reasons that Quick Kick was on this list, which is just lots of cool nostalgia that just really gave me the feels. I thought the figure was done really, really well. All the weapons, the backpack, the pouches, the head sculpt looks great. You know, just in general, it's just there to give me everything that I want out of an action figure, which is just a cool look that reminds me of being a kid, that's got all the accessories, the sculpt is there, the paint is there. I mean, really, if I was going to lay any complaint on this, it's that I wish the yellow popped a little bit more, but outside of that, I think the figure's absolutely phenomenal, and it just had to go on this list for me this year. Now, in at number 8, we have something that really doesn't play in on any nostalgia or retro factor or anything like that, and that is the Action Pilot Halo Jumper from the G.I. Joe 60th anniversary line. This is not a redo of an older character or anything that I had when I was a kid, but just that deco, man. The camo on this thing, I think, just looks so fantastic. I know it's a lot of reuse as far as, you know, just the sculpt and the accessories and, you know, all the stuff to it, but it's something about that camo, man. I love it. It just came together really, really well, and it just hits all the right spots for me as far as being an action figure, a military action figure. I just, in general, love the way this thing looks. Plus, he did come with a ton of accessories that are just all pretty much phenomenal. I don't know, just something about this figure really clicked with me and had to be number 8 on my list. And of course, at number 7, we've got Metalhead. This dude is just crazy, cool, kind of 80s, 90s greatness. I remember when this guy first appeared on the Dick series. I think he popped up in the first episode when they kind of rebooted G.I. Joe for the new series. And he was just insane. He was an insane bad guy Cobra character with rockets that you shouldn't be able to carry and shouldn't fire from where they're positioned on his body. But it's just a cool looking character, and he makes for an excellent looking action figure. I mean, he just looks crazy. He looks insane, and that is what the character was on the old school cartoon. And I love it. I just love it straight up across the board. He's got all the rockets firing and the guns and the great color scheme. And he comes with a couple different head sculpts that you can put a helmet on. I love the original look for him. I don't know, man. It hit all the right spots for me on this guy. I absolutely love Metalhead. All right, in at number 6, we have Beachhead, one of my top 5 favorite all-time G.I. Joe characters. I loved his action figure back in the day, and I loved him on the old school cartoon series and in the G.I. Joe movie. There was just always something about Beachhead. I don't know what it was. He looked cool. I mean, he just looked like a badass with the mask and the camo and the green and the black. And I don't know, it's just something that really resonated with me as a kid. And this new retro series, Beachhead, just, again, you're going to hear this repeated over and over and over again in this, but it just clicked all the right spots for me, especially when it comes to nostalgia. I think they did a fantastic job on him. I know it's a lot of reuse, but it's perfect reuse for the character. And I absolutely love it. In at number 5, we have the Iron Grenadiers. Basically like the perfect army builder for G.I. Joe. I love the way these guys look. And I will always remember, I can't remember if it was from a comic book or a file card or what it was, that essentially the Iron Grenadiers were like the perfect combination of like the slickest used car salesman, the trickiest accountant, and a highly trained commando. I mean, these were Destro's personal bodyguards and his high-end operators. These dudes were just supposed to be badass and personally worked for Destro, not for Cobra Commander or the Cobra organization, but they were just highly trained badasses. I've always thought they were cool, and this figure came out absolutely perfect and beautiful and gorgeous, and paint and sculpt and everything about it, accessories, guns, everything is just perfect. I absolutely love this figure. And now at number 4, we have the figure that I didn't think I was going to like at all, to the point that I wasn't going to pick it up. I avoided this figure because I saw it was coming out and was like, who cares? Because as a kid, I was never the kid that played with the toys in the tub. I didn't care about the guys who swam or the boats or any of that stuff. I wanted the stuff you played with outside, the planes, the tanks, those guys, okay? But then I saw this figure sitting on the shelf, sitting on a peg, and I thought, holy crap, he looks awesome. And I don't know what it is, the paint, the sculpt, the accessories, they're all great. Maybe it's just the retro vibe, the way this is just a perfect updated representation of a Cobra Eel. I don't know what it is, but I just fell in love with this figure, and I didn't even want to pick this figure up because I thought it was a pointless action figure, yet how wrong I really was. And at number 3, we got Retro Duke. Kind of the main man when it comes to G.I. Joe in a lot of ways. No, he's not General Hawk or my personal favorite Flint when it comes to leaders in the G.I. Joe hierarchy, but he's still probably the one that is the most known, and this is just a great figure. If I had one complaint, it's simply that I wish his shirt was a little more yellow and vibrant, but I mean, really, that's a small complaint because this retro carded Duke is just phenomenal. I mean, across the board, the head sculpt's great, the accessories, the overall paint and sculpt on the body, basically everything across the board, including coming on the retro card, which just looked fantastic sitting there on a peg on the shelf. I mean, there was just nothing bad about this figure, really, that I can say. I just love it, and I think most people agreed, most G.I. Joe collectors agreed this was just a perfect Duke figure. And of course, you knew Storm Shadow was going to show up on this list somewhere, since of course he is my all-time favorite G.I. Joe universe character. This, of course, is version 2, came out this year. It's not a perfect figure. In fact, what you're seeing here is a figure that I have already modified, but damn it, does it have good bones, and it really doesn't take a lot of modifications, mostly just with the accessories to get this guy looking, in my opinion, just about perfect. I mean, version 2 was always my favorite version of Storm Shadow, and this came out, I think, really, really well. Sure, there are probably some changes they could have made to it, and sure, this is probably just my bias showing for the character, why he's so high up on this list, but that's okay, because it's my list, and this character and this look gave me all the vibes and the nostalgic feel, so there you go. Storm Shadow version 2, number 2 on my top 10 list of 2024. And in at number 1, we throw in a figure that's already been released 3 other times with a perfect sculpt, perfect accessories, and you throw in even better paint than this figure has ever had before with black and gold and red, and of course you get the Iron Grenadier b.a.t. I mean, the b.a.t. was already probably maybe the best figure that the G.I. Joe Classifieds line has put out as far as sculpt and accessories go, and then you add the perfect combination of that Iron Grenadier color scheme to it, and you get what, in my opinion, is maybe the best G.I. Joe Classified figure we have ever gotten. Just as far as the overall presence on your shelf, this thing pops and looks phenomenal, and is certainly the best figure of this year, and as I said, may in fact be the best figure in the entire line going back to the very beginning. The Iron Grenadier b.a.t. is a phenomenal figure. If you don't have it and you collect G.I. Joe Classified, this is the one to get. And there you have it, my friends. There is my personal top 10 G.I. Joe Classifieds figure 2024. Hope you enjoyed it, and more than that, I hope some of you guys out there are going to be putting up videos of your own, because this is the perfect time of year. Not only is it Christmas, but I get to watch everybody's top 10 lists, which is just a favorite pastime of mine, and I hope to see many of you guys posting videos about your personal top 10 favorite G.I. Joe Classifieds, or any other line out there, so that I can get a little bit of enjoyment out of YouTube as well. But if you don't want to do that, at least leave a comment down below. Let me know what some of your favorites are in this line this year. I would absolutely love to hear it. And as always, guys, I appreciate you watching, and always remember to enjoy your collection.